I thought we finished already.
Yeah, already. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're too late.
All
You
the
are
best
late.
questions were done.
Yeah, it's lunchtime.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are having a coffee with Mr. Franco, General Manager of Guangzhou Garden Hotel. And thanks for accepting our invitation.
Oh, you're most welcome, Owen. It's my honor. It's my honor.
Yeah.
So, how's the coffee?
The coffee is really good. It's a little bit transparent. For me, it's more like water.
It's not served by the hotel. You brought your own.
It was brought by our team.
No, it's an honor to be here. I'm glad we have this chance to talk about people, talk about the industry, talk about our future, right? And at least from what I know, right? We were just talking about a point on people off camera before we started, and I thought it would be quite fun to carry on. Today's talent pool and expectation of what's important to them have changed over the years. When I was coming into the industry, right, I think it's important for me to learn, be patient, build a strong foundation, and you move up accordingly. But today, a lot of the newer generations, they seek something that's very quick.
Like fast money, quick reaching director positions.
Money, quick satisfaction, quick reward. So it's very, very hard for them to be patient and learn the skill set. We were just talking about they would love to be in a position where they can make some quick money without having the responsibility. And we see that quite a bit. And honestly, it's not just about the hotel industry, but in general, this group of workforce that are coming in, regardless of what industry, there are certain concerns for employers and how we engage them and how they will become in the future when they're in a position to make these decisions. So it's something we worry about. But then again, it's not all bad. I mean, they have a lot of speed, they have a lot of passion, they have great desire to learn, and to pick up knowledge. And the way they acquire knowledge is so fast these days. There's so many platforms and devices and capabilities. So they learn so much faster than 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Well, when did you start in the hotel industry? Like how many years ago?
30 somewhat years. I can't remember. It's been so long. It's been 30 somewhat years. And I've been lucky. I had some great mentors along the way. Garden Hotel actually is only my third employer of all these years. My first one I spent 10 years with. My last employer I spent 18 years with.
10, 18, and now
This is my 9th year at the Garden Hotel. So you can add up how long I've been working in the hotel industry.
You have been in this industry longer than we have been on Earth, most of us.
I'm not that great. I'm not that much great. But it has been a while. And I have seen how the workforce has changed and the skill set, what's been required. So,
And what do you think the market or the industry or the companies are doing in order to adjust, if they should adjust, to the new generation of the workforce? Or do you think that the workforce should adjust to the existing company culture?
That's a great point, Owen. I'm going to peel this out. I mean, there are so many ways to answer your question. First of all, I think we need to look at the changes of the workforce itself, and we also need to look at the changes due to the larger economic issues that we're facing, which is COVID, right? Especially in China. Unfortunately, I think what I have learned in the past, all those years you add up, right? 10 plus 18 plus 9, all those years, it really has come back to a point where it almost reset. Where what I had learned in the past had become nothing more than a reference point. And you need to look at how dynamic we need to be these days in any industry, I believe, especially for me in the hotel industry. I just met someone recently, and this person told me, high seasons is the day that there's no COVID.
It's true.
Whenever there's no COVID, that's high season, right? So you go from Monday where your hotel is full, and then Tuesday suddenly there's a COVID policy implementation, then you have nothing. So that is very fluid, very dynamic, and it makes it very hard to prepare your budget. It makes it very hard to plan. So you kind of have plan A, and then there's a plan A dot B, and then you have a plan B, and then you have a plan C. That is to back up plan B, right? And so you need so many layers of support system, and hopefully you can drive through one initiative or drive through one task successfully.
Yeah.
So it's very, very different. And the way we move forward in this, you just really have to be fluid and dynamic and look at the bigger picture as much as you can.
Yeah.
And pick up all the little nuances, little data here, a little conversation here, and so you kind of piece it all together so you have a better idea where you need to go, where you need to steer your ship, per se. You know.
Many people want to be in a leadership position, let's say, but being a leader, I guess, is quite hard because all the decisions that you make will not only affect you, your families. How many employees do you guys have here now?
We have 1,300.
So every decision that you make will influence all the families. Like, how do you make these decisions? Based on what? Because, you know, I guess you're also sometimes scared of taking the wrong one, maybe?
Well, first of all, sometimes I feel like I'm a village chief, not just the general manager of a hotel. No, but you're right. Making decision, it's become more and more complicated these days. But for me, there are 2 points I always go back to. One is you got to understand the consequences of the decision that you make. You cannot make a decision simply out of unfiltered data or intuition. You really can't do that anymore. There's too much at stake. So first of all, you got to try to understand for every decision that you make, what could the potential consequences are. And two, I always have to ask myself, is the decision that I make, it's balanced? Am I leaning too much in one direction or the other? For example, in hotel, if I make a decision on budget, right? Am I pulling too far back on building talent? Yeah. Or am I pulling too far back on guest experience? Or am I spending enough on research and development? Or am I overly focused on operating profit? So where is that balance, right? And got to understand what my consequences are. So with my team and myself, we try to look at 3, 5, 7 years ahead. So we don't just look at, okay, well, today we have great occupancy, great rates, great revenue, and so let's do this. Or today we're in 20% occupancy, no guests in the dining room, and so therefore we cut back on so much. We have to kind of look at this in longer game. We have to plan a little bit further out. Because for the past 3 years with the pandemic, we know it's up and down like this, right? So it's kind of flatten it out. Hopefully you get a better vision, what we would be like. My conversation with my ex-com team, we are 37 years old now, but our focus is what the Garden Hotel would be when we turn 40. So everything we do now is about making this hotel how great it can be when we turn 40. And that would be the foundation to the ultimate, which is when this hotel turns 50.
And then again, and then again.
Right, because 50, it's a very significant landmark date, right? And how are you going to make a building that's been here for the last 37 and be great at 50, and really truly become a landmark. And so we focus on that because we know pandemic at some point it has to end, right? We believe it has to end. Hopefully, right?
It's been 2.5 years already.
So we kind of plan it we'll be here for some time, but we also plan that it will end at some point. But you cannot just wait until it ends and you start to have this race. You got to have all these pieces in place. So as soon as the gate is open, we're ready to run. But it's hard to have this conversation, and it's not easy. Having this vision and sharing all these intangible, to some degree, initiatives and tasks with people is not quite easy.
And coming back to the first question as well about the workforce and about leading these let's say organizations, institutions, companies. If you have 10 people and you don't know who's the most suitable person for a certain position, what do you look for in them? What skills? What mindset?
It's the attitude.
Attitude.
It's the attitude. I'm not belittling what we do here, but certainly what we do, we don't build rockets here. You know, we're not virus scientists. We're not that. We don't need to be all that smart, right? But we do need to have the heart to service people. We need to have the aptitude to be of a entrepreneur, to run a business. Because after all, this is a business. We generate revenue, we generate profit through services. So we need to understand how to service people. And when we serve people, we understand this is a business and how we balance that. Like today, Owen's a great point. A hotel is no longer just a hotel. In many hotels, they have transformed themselves into a brand. So you walk around on the street or in a shopping mall, you see a bag that says certain hotel name on it. So reflects a certain status. And in China today, with all our new money, branding is very important. I associate with certain brand, I associate with a certain tier. In a way, it gets very tricky, but that's the trend right now. So we gotta understand, okay, where we put our money, what kind of services are we gonna give to our guests, what kind of experience we expect that they would expect from us. So we got to really look at what is it that we do these days. We have to rip all of these apart. We no longer just, you have comfortable bed, air-conditioned room, beautiful, well-decorated interior, good water pressure. That is, if you sell that, you're ready to close. You have to go so much further and so much more to provide a acceptable experience these days. And guests do funny things now. They do funny things.
For example?
I have never seen so many people love to walk around the hotel in bathrobes. Because the bathrobe has a certain logo on it. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. And for this hotel, we have sold more pillowcases, sheets than we have ever been because of certain branding. It is very funny. It's very, very funny. And so you don't just provide food and lodging anymore in the hotel industry. It's really become part of the lifestyle. It's a lifestyle brand now.
And I can feel that when you talk about this industry, you really have the passion for this. It's something that you like from the beginning when you started. Imagine if you could go back to your teenage, you cannot go to hotel industry, what would you choose?
I think I would, I don't know, end up being a drug dealer. I don't know.
I know.
After that, exactly. I don't think I have a lot of talents for a lot of things. I wanted to be an industrial designer. And but that didn't work out, obviously. But I found love in this industry. I love to serve people. I love to work with people. And now I'm a little bit more experienced. I love to share what I know with people. And so if you look at it, the 3 Ps, right? In me, what I just said, it's all about people. People. I just love people. So Yeah, okay. I love people, so that's why I'm staying in this business.
Okay. Why I ask this question? Because when I have coffee with other leaders who are, let's say, about to retire, and I say, what are you planning to do after you leave this place? Usually I ask two questions. One, how would you like to be remembered by your company when you leave? And second, what are you going to do after you leave? I know you still have a lot of time, but have you ever thought of that? This is not prepared. I'm just throwing questions at you.
I'm not ready to retire yet. I don't know. One thing I definitely would, I would like to be remembered as someone who cares, or someone who shares. Because I don't think anyone is so great where they have so much impact in other people's lives. But what an individual can do is to share with people what this person has learned in his or her life journey, and how the others pick it up, appreciate it, learn something from it, or discard it. It's up to them. But I certainly want to be viewed, not necessarily remembered, but at least viewed as a person who is not selfish, who shares, and it's selfless in many ways. I hope I get to be successful in this. I don't know. I hope I get to. Maybe I use this opportunity, Owen, to share something for the youngsters who are coming into the workforce. Life actually is very short. If you are a teenager, you would think, oh my God, life is so long. You know, I'm 16, I'm 17, and with today's medicine, advance in medicine, you can easily live until 90. So you're 16, you would think, well, I have at least 70 some odd years to go. I am immortal, you know, at least until I'm 25, right? But actually, life is really, really short when you think about it. You get out of high school, you go to college, right? So you're about 22 at that point, and you have little to not much financial responsibility. Then suddenly, you're dating, you start to get married, right? You rent a little place, then you get a little car, then you try to buy a house, then you buy a bigger car, then you try to have a child, then you have children, and it goes on. And so your whole life is about nothing but building debt. Right? Yeah. You buy one purse, and you buy two mobile phones, and you buy 4 cameras, and you don't know why, but you want to. And so you build up all this debt. And as you get older, you have more and more of these debt. That means you have to pay for it, right? So you, because of that reason, no other reason other than that, you want to move up in your career, and climb up on your corporate ladder. You want to make more money. Well, guess what? At some point where you're in a position where it is very critical for decision making, and you're not quite there to make it, and you're full of debt in your mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, and your supervisor or the corporate is start to look at you. Hey, what more can this person can give? What more can this person do? What vision does this person have to take us forward? But suddenly there's not much there. So you are in your late 30s, early 40s, with not much going on except a whole lot of debt. And then very soon you're staring down at retirement, not far from you. And you don't have much value in the company or in the society. And that's when it starts to get very scary.
Is that the 40s middle life crisis, or It depends on the
It's just
society.
crisis.
It's just crisis.
It's just financial crisis. It's just crisis at home. It's just pure crisis. But especially now, a lot of people are chasing easy money, and they job hop, and they just 6 months at a job, a year at a job. By the time they spend 15 years in the workforce,
Yeah.
they have like 20 jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So what are they good at?
A little bit of everything, but not good at anything. Yeah.
Right. So it's but when you start to get into a position to make decision, you have to have, I believe anyway, you got to be good at something.
Yes.
You cannot just be jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be able to focus on something and make key decisions on something. And so it's very unfortunate. Life is that short, you know, and before you know it, you're going to get to that age, and you want to get higher, but you can't because your foundation is not strong enough. And street smart can only take you so far.
Okay.
You know, and book smart can also only take you so far as well. So you got to have the combination of that, a strong foundation, and ready to take care of yourself and your family. And most importantly, when you become most vulnerable, which is near retirement or after retirement, you still have some value to give to your family and to the society, you know, or the community that you live in. I think,
well, for the listeners that are following us today, maybe if they are not Chinese speakers, they don't know what is Neijuan. It's something that the younger generation suffer from in the Chinese society with all the financial pressure, family pressure, social pressure, work pressure. If you could give one advice to younger generations of what they should change, what do you think would be the number 1 or 2?
I cannot emphasize, I don't know if I can actually directly answer your point, but I cannot emphasize to you how important it is to be balanced. You have to live a balanced life. I really do believe.
Between what and what and what, more or less?
Work and your personal life. You can just say, oh, I am focused on something, you forget everything else. I'm trying to give you an example. There are a lot of companies pushing 6-day, 7-day work week, 18, 20 hours a day. But realistically, physically, how good are you after 12, 14 hours a day? How productive can you be if you're constantly working 6 or 7 days a week? So we need to look at what is it that we want to achieve and how to achieve it, right? Is it, I can understand there's some programmers, right? Computer programmers, coders. They need to sit in front of their system day and night because they are in a chain of thought.
Yeah.
But at some point that has to stop too, right? So I think it's very important to have that balance. You cannot just try to outdo each other every day. I am good at something. You can be good at something else, right? You don't have to beat me, and I don't have to beat you. But we all can motivate each other to excel in our area of responsibility. That is great for the company, or great for whatever enterprise that you're with, or your own company. But there's no need to simply outdo each other, and so you can climb on top. And
it's not like a competition every day. I kill you, you kill me.
No. I personally, I don't promote that, and I don't believe in it. I think we all can do better. You know, we compete with our competitors. We don't compete within ourselves. Right? We motivate ourselves. But when we compete with our competitors, and so I think it's there's no point of burning out your talents, right? Then you just pay them for nothing. And that's but on that, it's like something else is very funny, and I thought it was wonderful what happened in the workforce in general. The word training, it used to be a taboo word.
It used to be. Now it's like very popular. There's trainings everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I say, oh, where are you going? I'm going for a training.
And it's usually sport related.
Well, it's like, well, did you do something wrong? You didn't do something. You don't know how to do it. But now training, it's about adding value to your knowledge base. Yeah. It's about preparing yourself for the next step. And that mindset has changed quite a bit in the last 10 years. And it's very wonderful to see. People believe in training and like to be trained.
And they ask for it.
They ask for it. And they see value in it. And so that is so nice to see.
Okay, interesting. I would like to ask one last question, and it's about the concept you mentioned about being an entrepreneur within an organization. Many people think you can only be entrepreneur if you leave your job and then do something else. Sometimes you can do that inside a company, but I would like to ask you that question while we are taking a tour in your hotel. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to do this as we walk? Or?
Yeah. Can we
absolutely.
just talk?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Right this way, please. So we continue here?
Yes.
We were just talking about entrepreneur spirit.
Yes.
If you get a chance to look at this space, right? It's built as a garden. It's meant to be a service facility, right? But you can also look at the space as a cocktail reception area.
Yes.
Right? And that cannot be trained. For example, you want to come here, so I want to do something in a hotel, right? If you have that spirit and say, what can we use, what can we do with this space? How can we transform this? How can we do something that is suitable to the guest who has a certain demand? We have to have that spirit, therefore we can meet the client's demand and make ourselves more competitive. To me, entrepreneurship or spirit has everything to do with competitiveness. The hotel industry looks like we're a bunch of white-collar gentlemen. But the reality is that we compete constantly. We compete in having this group in my hotel, not in my competitor's hotel. We compete in how my food is better than the other restaurants. How this hotel or any hotel have more awards and recognitions, right? We constantly compete. And if you think this is a gentleman's business, well, our ownership might not like it. But we have to bestow that. We have to educate our staff to understand this. We have this little program in the hotel, this little culture, and with 3 initials, PDM. P is for promise, D is for dream, M for memory. We start to instill the entrepreneur spirit into them. How can we make this promise to you if we don't push ourselves forward? How can we inspire you to have a bigger dream if we don't make you competitive?
And in what way can we encourage our staff to think in a different way, in a more innovative way?
Traditionally, you would say, let's give you more bonus, right?
Yes. That can be okay in the beginning,
right?
But then in the long term, you probably...
It doesn't work. It's not just about money. It's about satisfaction of being who you are, what you do, and how proud you are when you represent your company. When I come out in public and say, I'm with so-and-so company. And if you can be proud of it, that means you're competitive. If you're competitive, that means you have that spirit to drive and to make things better. And so it all kind of correlate and it all kind of relate. There isn't a single element that makes it work. Suddenly we're in a big lobby We even have to sit further.
Beautiful.
Right. So I hope I managed to share that successful with you.
So you try to make the staff feel proud of the brand, so they think in a different way, not because it's based on bonus, but because they want to make a difference in the organization.
Absolutely. And our staff meeting, our general staff meeting, for example, for the last 2 or 3 years, our main theme is about success.
Yes.
How can we be more successful? What more can we do? What more we can do with our staff? What more we can do for our guests? But every time you say what more we can do, actually, is that core to entrepreneurship.
Okay. So the key question is not to tell them what to do, is to ask them what we can do.
Right. Yeah. What more can you do? Yeah. What more you can do to make the guests more happier? What more you can do to make the guests return faster?
Yeah.
Right? And successful.
Yeah. Okay.
So it all comes together. It's kind of
perfect.
Yeah, it's quite nice that way.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
And just the last message you would like to send to all our listeners. I'm not going to throw any question at you. You decide. What would be the last message you would like to share with us that we should know?
Spend more time talking to Owen. He's very, very smart. No, no, seriously, but you are. I think love life. Learn from life. There's so much to learn. I think I'm very, very lucky to work in this industry where I get to see a lot of people. I hear a lot of great stories. I also hear a lot of human stories that are sometimes not necessarily the happiest, but they're great human stories. They're extremely motivational. And please embrace life. I think that's what I would tell all your listeners and your viewers. Embrace life, understand life.
What if in the process of embracing life, I come across a challenge that makes me feel scared? Maybe, I don't know, new position, new job, new city, new relation. What if I'm scared of taking this step? What would you say?
Go do it.
Go do it. You will have time to regret.
You know, I have seen a lot of people, including at a certain time in my life.
Yes.
I was afraid to take the next step. I was afraid to take the one step forward. And I wish, now that I look back, I wish I had taken that one step earlier and not be afraid. But really push yourself forward and you will be greatly rewarded. You know, people will love it.
That's a great way to finish the coffee talk.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Franco.
And next time, I hope you bring a better coffee.
Sorry about the coffee. It was not very strong. Thanks a lot, Franco.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Thank you.